Let's talk about NAT. NAT, N-A-T, means Network Address Translation. All IP packets contains addressing information. It is source IP addresses, destination IP addresses, source ports, and destination ports. NAT means that you change any or more of those parameters within the packets while the packet traverses the firewall. For example, you have a packet with a source IP, source port, destination IP, and destination port. When you send packets out on the internet, you normally hide your internal IP addresses. So you change the source address of your outbound traffic so that your internal IP address is not visible on the internet. That's the most common way of NAT. NAT configuration can be quite complex. In the firewall, you have many choices of how to set up NAT. And I will go through how NAT works in the CISCO ASA firewall in this and the coming videos. One of the best resources for understanding NAT in the CISCO ASA is this document, the first hit on Google when I Google for CISCO ASA NAT order. This document on the CISCO support forum explains most things about NAT. We will have a look at a few parts of that document right here. When we configure NAT in the firewall, we will see that we have two types of NAT. We have twice NAT and we have object NAT. All NAT configuration goes into a NAT table. That NAT table is processed from up and down. And the NAT table is divided in three different sections. Everything in section 1 is processed before section 2, which is processed before section 3. For each new traffic flow, the NAT table will be scanned from up and down, like an access list, to find a matching NAT rule. And as soon as there is a matching NAT rule for that type of traffic, that NAT will be implemented for that traffic. So we can place NAT in three different sections, and we have two different types of NAT. We can do object NAT and we can do twice NAT. Object NAT is what I have shown you already as a way to configure a network object and do a NAT within that object. While twice NAT is a more advanced NAT configuration that is in the global part of the configuration in the firewall, and it's called twice NAT because you can actually NAT twice. In twice NAT, you can change both source and destination IP at the same time. It's more advanced. We will look into a few quite common implementations of object NAT and twice NAT in the coming videos. Normally, all twice NAT goes into section 1. So when you configure twice NAT, it will automatically be in section 1, while object NAT will be in section 2. Section 3 is a bit special. If you want any NAT configuration in section 3, it must be twice NAT, and you need to specify a command or option for that NAT statement saying after-auto. After-auto means that it comes after the auto-NAT. Auto-NAT is the same as object NAT. This is a bit confusing, and normally you do not do that. So section 3 is optional, but as soon as you configure a firewall that has more than two interfaces, that has some kind of VPN, or that is not the simplest configuration at all, you will have both twice NAT and object NAT. Automatically, the twice NAT will be in section 1 and the object NAT will be in section 3, and you will normally not have anything in section 3. You will have configuration in section 1 and section 2, but not in section 3. The order of the sections is quite easy to understand. That means that twice NAT comes before object NAT, but within each section, you can configure the order. The order of NAT within section 1, which is twice NAT, is the same order that you put the lines in the configuration. Since twice NAT commands are global lines that are not put under any kind of objects, they will be processed from up to down the way they look in the configuration. There is an option for you when adding NAT commands for twice NAT to add a line number. When you add a new twice NAT and you specify a line number, the line will be inserted at that position within the configuration. If you do not specify a line number when adding a twice NAT command, the new line will be added at the end of all existing twice-NAT commands in the configuration of the firewall. When it comes to the order within section 2 for network object NAT, the order is based on the size of the object. More specific objects will have precedence over more generic objects. For example, an object that is NATed and the object contains a host have precedence and will be higher ranked than an object NAT for an object that is specified as a subnet. And if the subnet is smaller, it will have precedence over another NAT for an object that is larger. This is quite confusing, and to understand that easier, we will have a look at how to do a practical implementation of NAT. We will take the current configuration of our lab firewall and we will configure the NAT according to some requirements that we will have a look into.